Hey guys, welcome back. We have a weekend energy update that we need to get into this weekend as we are making our way out of perhaps what has been a pretty emotionally heated week. Some things really could have been popping off out there. And to be honest, as we are moving into the energy of next week, the intensity and the volatility could actually be building. We do have a Sun-Pluto conjunction that is coming up next. So that's the backdrop right now, you guys. It's just where we're at. But in terms of what we've got playing out more so in the foreground, we actually have a Venus-Saturn conjunction that is happening this weekend, being opposed by the moon all weekend. And the moon transiting through Virgo is going to make the first lunar contact to the nodes of the moon now that they have changed signs, left Aries and Libra, entered Pisces and Virgo. So I actually think, despite maybe the energy that is causing us to experience some sudden endings, maybe in one or many areas of our lives right now, being brought to us by those background transits, the foreground transits this weekend are helping us to plan the future, figure out our next steps, find solutions. There's a very sharp mental energy, very disciplined in the context of being mature, being responsible, being able to plan, strategize, organize, get our lives together. This is also a weekend that is very supportive of our ability to implement lifestyle changes. If you've been needing to change up your schedule, habit, routines, diet, nutrition, workout, any of that type of stuff, this is a very, very good weekend to get that ball rolling. And if you're not doing something like that, again, planning what you want to do or how you're going to change some aspect of your lifestyle somehow, also very supported. So we've got a lot to talk about this weekend, you guys. We really are, I think, at a page turning weekend. After this weekend, a lot of the ways that we've been feeling about things and the things that we've been moving through and working with and struggling with are for some reason going to be released somehow or transition in some way where we're just not going to be focused on them as much anymore. I don't know. This is a very, very transitional point in time, and a lot is going to change come next week. So let's get into our report. Let's close this week out, put it all together, see how it's going and where we're at as we approach the energy of next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, January 17th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're gonna get into this weekend's astrology, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, take a look at it, see what's going on out there, and what it's looking like as we're heading into our energy of next week. And again, as I mentioned in my intro, we're just in kind of just generally a very fiery, intense, volatile, dynamic period of time right now. There is a greater force pushing for some type of necessary endings. These necessary endings are likely to come through some type of explosion or some type of implosion. I'm just saying up front, I've been saying it kind of all week. And the full moon that we had at the beginning of the week was an indication of this as well. I just kind of think we're in wrecking ball energy, and it's kind of like the walls of the old world are being torn down, flattened, and in order to make space for whatever is coming next to kind of sprout through the ashes. It does kind of feel like true Phoenix rising energy, which is ironic because we have our Sun-Pluto conjunction coming up in a couple days, and Pluto is the energy that represents that Phoenix rising archetype. So very powerful times that we are in right now, guys. The reason why, I've been saying I feel like this is all about some type of necessary ending is because we've got a trine going on between Mars in the sign of Cancer with both the North Node and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Neptune, the sign of Pisces, this is energy that breaks things down, that washes things away. It's the 12th sign of the zodiac. It is about endings. It's about, merging back into all that is. It's also this higher spiritual connection. This is also a time of tremendous spiritual growth that we are all going to be going through in one way or another over this next year and a half. But Pisces, Neptune, this energy is also about endings. It's also about loss. It's also about surrender. The North Node is the destiny point, some phase of growth or evolution. And when we're talking about just the position of the North Node in the sky and not in the context of any specific natal chart, this is the collective sort of like destined path of evolution that we are all interacting with on one level or another. And with the nodes having just moved into the sign of Pisces, we are restarting. This is a reset for the 18-year cycle that sees the nodes through all of the 12 zodiac signs. And we've learned some karmic lesson in the past 18 years, and we are setting out on a new karmic lesson plan that is starting now. And with the North Node in the sign of Pisces, it begins with some spiritual growth, and the flip side of that is some surrender. With the South Node in the sign of Virgo now, Virgo has to do with essentially like how we do things, like how we get things done, our personal like day-to-day habits, routines, systems, protocols, diet, nutrition, workout, our lifestyle, how we serve ourselves, how we serve others, how we work with like our own energy to get things done. It's a sign of the harvest. It's a sign of it's ruled by Mercury also, how we process information as well. Something about the way that we are thinking, and as a result of that, the way that we are actually like doing life on a day-to-day basis needs to be released, changed, altered over the next year and a half. Now, as I said in my intro, we have our first lunar contact with the nodes now that they have completed that 18-year cycle. We are just beginning this new 18-year cycle, and as the moon transits through Virgo this weekend, hits the South Node of the moon in Virgo, opposes the North Node of the moon in Pisces in the conjunction to Neptune, we are likely to be feeling some emotional pull, well, on one hand, maybe to the past, to how we've been doing things and how, you know, maybe our life has defined us. But we could actually find ourselves this weekend feeling some type of like inner compulsion just to make a change somehow. You also may find yourself feeling more spiritually compelled now and actually moving forward over the coming days, weeks, months, actually, you know, over the next 18 months, next year and a half or so. This will be a time of collective spiritual growth, and people are going to just inherently be more spiritually oriented over this next period of time. So that's kind of where we're at. You know, again, we are in a window right now that I feel like is very, very indicative of kind of like karmic endings that are happening, and maybe like sudden, unexpected, eruptive, or just it being gone all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, if there's not some type of like heated or explosive nature to the confrontations that are playing out right now, it might just be like totally void of any type of confrontation, and things could just suddenly be gone. But there is something to do with everything orienting itself right now towards necessary endings that need to take place so that we can kind of go through this like whole life overhaul that is setting us on a new path of this like next phase of karmic evolution that will play out over the next 18 years. Okay, so that's where we're at as a background energy as we head into our weekend. And you know, all that being said, bringing it back to just like the general vibe of the weekend, I would say this is a good weekend again to like get things done. It is a more grounding, sobering energy that we have playing out with Venus and Saturn coming into a conjunction with one another in the sign of Pisces, and especially with the moon in Virgo just happening to be transiting Virgo while these two are aligning in Pisces, coming into opposition. The details and things, the fine print in situations could be somehow just more apparent and more relevant somehow. This could be a more critical, judgmental energy, and with Venus and Saturn together, it does desire order, discipline, maturity, and control. That Virgo moon is happy about all those kind of things as well. Organization. As I said, you know, this is a great weekend to like plan your next step somehow. It's also a very meticulous, focused, creative energy. Another thing, if you're like artistically inclined in any type of a way, the like divine inspiration and the able to channel like masterful creations and works of art, very indicated in the way that this energy comes together as well. Like labors of love, you know what I mean, would be represented by this type of thing. So if that's your avenue, if that's your niche, probably a very good weekend to get some creative work done. It's going to go well. Of course, as I have already emphasized quite a bit, this is up against that backdrop of this like generalized intensity and significant change and transformation and, you know, endings and things just kind of like moving out or moving on or falling away in one thing or another. Could be blow-ups, sudden unexpected change, breakdowns, endings, things exploding or imploding or dissecting or just disintegrating, perhaps somehow with this Neptune Pisces North Node conjunction happening, being trined by Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer. This is also going to be like these things that are being taken out right now with Mars retrograde. Like, this is energetically, to me, indicating that these kind of are things that weren't necessarily supposed to ever last anyways. Like, Mars retrograding, Mars is our action, it's our behavior, it's our energy, it's what we do, it's, you know, what we put our energy into and what we have put our energy into. When Mars is retrograding, to me, I always feel like this is a very corrective period where we can like kind of have to backtrack on some things or readdress some things that we've done in the past that maybe are just like not in alignment with the path that universe wants to take us down. And I think a lot of that is also being indicated here. The fact that Mars is retrograde in Cancer in this trine to Neptune and the North Node, it's like these passionate or like heated emotions as well, or there could be some type like of emotional conflict that's going on, or there could be some like motivation or courage to defend and protect things to do with like the home and the family or something like that. But it's this divine masculine energy that needs to fix something, and whatever, like, it's like in order to fix it, it's the demolition phase. That's just what I feel like this looks like. Okay, this is a karmic clearing, and it makes sense because we've just completed an 18-year karmic lesson plan, okay? And we are about to do another one, or we've just started out on another one. Karmic reckoning as the nodes are beginning this new 18-year cycle. A lot of that clearing, I think, is being represented through what all of this is driving for, okay? Big changes, new beginnings are going to follow this clearing and cleaning energy. And also remember, we're moving towards a Sun-Pluto conjunction. Yes, that's power struggles, transformation in the sign of Aquarius. This is going to be sudden change, but Pluto's also like purge, regeneration, renewal at its, you know, higher octaves. Pluto has a lot to do with like very deep and profound and powerful healing. Okay, so and clearing and cleaning and purifying. So it's kind of like a great purification also that I think that we are moving through and heading towards in this energy. Loss is likely to be a feature of events unfolding now. There could be some definite, very difficult endings coming through here. Things that we've got to let go of that maybe we don't want to let go of. But these are necessary endings. The North Node is right there. Like, this is what has to happen. We have to make these changes, and we need to just try our best to have faith in the future, okay, as we move through this energy. And as I said, I think I said this in my intro, maybe I already said it earlier in my pour today, I honestly can't remember, but the concept that like I really think that this weekend, as the sun hits the very last degree of the sign of Capricorn and we have the first nodal activation with the South Node, I really do feel like this is the last energy of like our old world experience, I think. And it's funny too, because the moon starts its transit through the sign of Libra as we enter Sunday and head into Monday. And the moon will be in the sign of Libra when the sun enters Aquarius and comes into conjunction with Pluto. I feel like this is actually that scale tipping moment that's going to happen between maybe like this weekend and early next week, where the focus is going to change somehow, or things are going to change in such a way where like the things that maybe we have been like most predominantly dealing with, or the issues or the challenges or you know, what we've been wrapped up in some way, somehow, like it's going to shift, and we're going to start focusing on something else, or things are going to change in such a way that what used to occupy like a lot of our mind and a lot of our attention, or maybe we struggled with, is not to the same extent somehow anymore. And now for some reason, like we're focused on this other thing. There's just like there's going to be some shift in terms of like feeling like we've been most immersed, I guess, kind of like in our old selves, or like we've been trying to go through this birthing process, but like we haven't fully made it yet. I don't know. It just seems like by the time that we get to through the weekend, the moon's transiting through Libra, the sun enters Aquarius, comes into the conjunction with Pluto. It's like we're kind of like all in this new version of ourselves that's been working to find its way to the surface, or we like hit the crucial tipping or transition point where now things are weighted more in that direction. It's like you know what it is, you guys? It's that 100th monkey. You know that whole thing about the 100th monkey effect, where like once a certain amount of like those monkeys figured out how to do something, like all of a sudden all of the monkeys just like inherently knew how to do it. Like that's what it is. It's like hitting, but not in terms of like monkeys or anything like that. It's more so I think in terms of our own experience and things suddenly being more weighted in the direction of what we've been growing into than in who we've been. And as we move forward, I think we will be identifying more and more with who we are becoming than, again, like who we've been or the roles that we played in the past. So I hope that that made sense, because it feels like that is energetically the direction that this weekend is taking us, and energetically also, especially in the energy of Saturday. I think that this is really kind of like our last personal immersion with like our past, our old lives, like the road that we've walked till this point of time, the way that we have related to ourselves and our experiences. Just seems like moving forward after Sunday, moving to Monday next week, we're going to be just different in some way. So I don't know, we'll have to see how that goes, but that's where I feel like all of this is leading as we head through the weekend. Great weekend to make those plans, decide what you want to do, figure out the next step. Very down to earth, practical thinking. It's very good also, like not only on Friday especially, you guys, this is actually, Friday is also a very good day. Like if you need to like have a conversation with like a boss or an authority figure or like a higher up or something like that, and you are prepared, like you've done the work, like you've done the due diligence, you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, like you've put in the effort. If you are having some type of conversation with somebody that is like an authority figure over you or something like that, somehow it should go quite well with Venus and Saturn in the conjunction. And also the moon in Virgo is ruled by Mercury and also happens to be trining Mercury in the energy of Friday, while Mercury is also in a trine to the conjunction between, or no, in a sextile, sorry, to the conjunction between Venus and Saturn in Pisces, with Mercury making positive facilitating aspects not only to the moon in the sign of Mercury in the opposition to Venus and Saturn, but also to Venus and Saturn. Again, like this is things coming out of our mouth in a way that garner like respect and like appreciation and value, perhaps from authority figures or just people in position of like power, or even like a father figure or something like that. This is also a good day if you need some type of advice to seek wise counsel from somebody who is older than you and who has like that wisdom gained through experience. You can benefit from that type of just communication, conversation, advice in this energy as well. But definitely a good day to, if you are not prepared, I wouldn't do that. But if you have done the work, if you are prepared, and if you are like feel confident in that, then it will probably have a very good outcome in the context of, whatever conversation that you need to have. This is also quality over quantity energy. There is a reverence for value, for the quality of things, respecting money, respecting time, respecting resources, careful planning, budgeting, practicality. Again, like all of that stuff does real well in this energy. It's very like fiscally and financially responsible responsible when we have Venus and Saturn together, and especially with that moon in Virgo in the trine to Mercury as well. This will be excellent accountant energy. Babies born on this day will be very skilled accountants if that's the direction that they choose to go in. You'll be more likely to catch mistakes in this energy, to see the flaws in things, and to know how to implement the proper solution. Okay, so this is really like going on all weekend, but Friday is the ideal day, like the most supportive day for this expression. Also, don't be surprised if you're feeling generally antisocial throughout the course of the weekend. If you just kind of want to be a hermit and work on something or focus on something, that is what this energy is supporting as well. Social contact and the desire to connect with others can definitely be like restricted, limited, diminished when we've got a Saturn-Venus union conjunction going on. And also the moon in Virgo, this is a more introverted hermit mode energy. So we've got it a couple different ways out there, working or focusing on like the facts and the figures or the plans or the lessons on your own, kind of in a solitary manner. This is probably where you're going to find the most personal like satisfaction, actually, if you use your energy that way this weekend. You could also just be feeling lonely though, or unrelatable or unaffectionate, like you either don't want to be around anybody or just struggle to find connection with anybody. Even this is also the type of feeling or the type of energy, it's like even in a crowd of people or a room of people, you just feel totally alone. It can just make that type of thing stand out to us a bit more when we've got this kind of energetic lineup going on. So those are several ways that this Venus, Saturn, Virgo, moon energy could manifest for us this weekend. Saturday, and as I said, Friday, this is the most dominant. Now, Saturday is kind of like a little bit of a wishy-washy day, even though the moon is still transiting the sign of Virgo. This is because all day that moon in Virgo is building into an opposition with the North Node and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, and coming into that conjunction with the South Node. This could bring on more of this like mental and emotional breakdown type of energy, because again, Neptune breaks things down. Virgo, the moon, this is our mind, this is our emotions. So this could be a very like mentally and emotionally overwhelming day. We could kind of be reliving the past before our eyes again as we are culminating this one cycle, starting this new cycle. What we need to do or what we need to change could feel kind of overwhelming or daunting at this point in time. There could be a desire to just like escape reality, give up, run away from things. Energy levels could be a little bit low as well, because again of that Neptunian influence that has a tendency of just like bringing things down a little bit. But it is a very great weekend, again, well, number one, to engage in any type of spiritual practices, as I said. And I do think that setting up some type of spiritual practice or spiritual routine that you do on a day-to-day basis, even if it's just for this next 18 months, super, super, super helpful on some level. We have a lesson plan towards spiritual growth. There is a spiritual lesson for every single one of us out there that we are all going to learn over the next year and a half. And it doesn't matter what it is, but just establishing some type of daily spiritual practice, South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces, this is going to do you good heading into this next 18-year cycle. Okay, but Saturday, worries, insecurities, anxieties, feeling the pressure to maybe downsize or save money, financially limit yourself or your resources somehow. Pressure from authority or rules could also feel quite extreme in the energy of Saturday. This could also have to do, of course, with things of a more serious nature in relationships. We might be more focused on investments and commitments, and again, like what we want to build, but also maybe not feeling so clear or capable, or like we have the ability to do it. We could really be struggling, I guess, maybe with some internal self-doubt. The inner critic could be quite strong as we're moving through the energy Saturday and into Sunday. Mistakes and miscommunications and misunderstandings are also more likely. And we could kind of be caught in, I don't know, like an illusion of weakness or vulnerability, or just the reasons why we can't do things, or why we haven't done things, or why we have been doing things a certain way, and just like feeling like, I don't know, the sense of overwhelm about what we need to change. Yeah, could be something that we are struggling and dealing with on Saturday. Caught in the past. This could be dreams, this could be visions, this could be memories coming through. There's a difficulty being present on Saturday as well, I think. And it is, though, I do, you know, ultimately this is probably an experience that is going to show us what exactly it is that we do need to change. Whether or not we feel like we can do it, we should probably at least maybe gain an awareness of the direction that we need to take things eventually. Now, let's talk about the energy for Sunday for a minute. As opposed to what we may have been going on Saturday, may have been feeling a little confused or lost or disoriented, maybe caught in a sense of knowing what we need to change, but totally overwhelmed by what we need to do to make that happen. Sunday, after the moon has made that lunar south node conjunction, leaving Virgo, entering the sign of Libra, and actually Sunday also, that is the day when we have the exact conjunction going on between Saturn and Venus in Pisces, and it's actually being exactly trined on exactly sextiled on Sunday by Mercury in Capricorn. They're all at 17 degrees. So really, you know, we've got this energy present all weekend, but Sunday is when these activations come exact. You may wake up on Sunday and just find yourself suddenly ready and willing to make these changes and feeling like, you know what? Maybe it won't be easy, maybe I don't want to, but maybe like I actually can do this. And Sunday is the day to perhaps start implementing some of these personal changes if you can. Quit something, alter a habit, start a new diet, nutrition, workout regimen, implement a new schedule or protocol somehow. Changing the way that things are done on the day-to-day basis is supported as we move into the energy of Sunday. And this is really just going to kind of pick up steam as we move into the energy of next week. As I said, you know, Friday, like making plans about like what we're going to do and how we're going to do things. This is the vibe. But as we kind of lose it a little bit there on Saturday. But as we get into the energy of Sunday, those plans that we may have made, or maybe this is when we are making those plans, this is a good thing to be doing. Also, things along those lines are just going to be happening. I would bet that a lot of just spontaneous changes are going to be implemented, or things are going to be removed or started, or like new this or new that, or like getting rid of this or getting rid of that, starting, I would say, probably on tomorrow, on Monday the 20th. It's going to be a very transformative week that we've got coming up here next week. This is an effort to reorganize, to clean things up, and to reestablish order in some way after things may have gotten kind of messy over this past couple of weeks. With the moon now transiting through the sign of Libra, having left Virgo, and making these, I mean, the moon is in Libra, right? Libra is ruled by Venus. Where is Venus? Venus is in the exact conjunction to Saturn and in the exact sextile to Mercury, working to restore peace, balance, and fairness, a sense of like inner stability, things to do with relationships and finances and material possessions. Like, how can I set things right? How can I stabilize myself? What can I do to move forward to create more comfort and peace and abundance in my life again? Like, how can I make things nice? This could be what is motivating us as we hit the energy of Sunday, coming up with plans and ideas with that sextile to Mercury, how to establish balance, peace, security, comfort, again, somehow. Serious, mature thinking is likely to accompany this. Conversations maybe about money or relationships or material matters could be very, very relevant. And again, though, remember, this is all happening up against that backdrop of this wrecking ball, lightning striking the tower energy that we've also got going on out there. And Sunday, we have the moon at 29 degrees of the sign of Capricorn, in a conjunction to Pluto currently right now at 1 degree of the sign of Aquarius. Mars is in the trine to Neptune, but Mars is also in a sextile with Uranus. Dynamic, sudden endings. As I've been saying, this feels to me like energy where people are faced with an interaction that they weren't expecting that becomes just like passionate or heated or explosive in some type of a way that leads to some type of necessary endings. Powerful confrontations. We had it go on last week. We've got it going on again this upcoming week as the sun right now, today on Sunday at 29 degrees of Capricorn, prepares to enter Aquarius, come into that conjunction with Pluto. Remember, you guys, that 29th degree of the sign of Capricorn, that Sabian symbol is a secret meeting of men responsible for world affairs. It could feel like some powerful or overwhelming force is standing against us or blocking our way or trying to dominate us or boxing us in somehow, trying to control us, being overly like just like interfering in our business or something like that somehow. However, and this is because the sun is at that very last critical degree of the sign of Capricorn as we are preparing to have our annual Sun-Pluto conjunction that is coming up next. Now, the sun has not formally conjuncted Pluto like thoroughly in the sign of Aquarius, you guys, since like 1777 or 1778. Like, it's been a long time. Last year, we did have a Sun-Pluto conjunction at 0 degrees of the sign of Aquarius, but it was crazy because actually the way that happened was the sun conjoined Pluto at 29 degrees and 59 minutes of the sign of Capricorn, and then the sun entered Aquarius, hit that 0 degree Aquarius on January 21st of last year. And then actually Pluto, because Pluto had been at that 29:59 mark, joined the sun, entered Aquarius, and while the sun was still at 0 degrees of Aquarius, hit that 0 degree of Aquarius mark as well. So we did have our first conjunction between Pluto and the sun in the sign of Aquarius last year, but it was like a semi-conjunction. Like, it was like not, like Pluto wasn't in the sign of Aquarius when this conjunction hit. Now, that was a big one. That was a very powerful point in time as well, that January 21st mark last year. But this is really, I think, kind of like the true first conjunction of these planets, as it's not like they're fully in the sign. Like, Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius and is not leaving Aquarius for the next 20 years. And this is the year that the sun is coming through and making that full, thorough conjunction. Again, 1778, like, or 1779, one of those years. I am not exactly specifically sure which one it was. I didn't double check. So it's one of those. But trust and believe, you guys, regardless of how it may feel as we are heading through this weekend, remember how I said this is sort of like our final time reading this page. We're going to be reading like a whole new page coming up here, you know, really like starting this week. That feeling of being like overly repressed or overly controlled, or like we need to fight back or rebel against something like that, it's not going anywhere. However, just know tyranny, abuses of power, corporatism, that type of thing, not being supported here, not being supported anymore. The rules are changing. We are going from a centralized power model to a decentralized power model, and we are about to see that kick in. Powerful and unexpected changes are coming up next week. The sun enters Aquarius, joins Pluto in Aquarius, beginning the, as I said, you know, first formal conjunction between these two planets in the sign of Aquarius, where the Sun-Pluto conjunction is only going to happen in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And as we are starting this new 18-year cycle of the nodes, we're also starting a new 20-year cycle of Pluto through the sign of Aquarius. It's interesting, really, because this Pluto-Aquarius transit is almost exactly lining up with this next 18-year cycle, like lesson plan and evolutionary growth. And actually, of course, also after this next year and a half, which, like I said, is about these spiritual lessons and redefining our, like, redoing our lifestyles as a result of that, then the North Node will move into the sign of Aquarius as well, and we will really be getting in line, and our whole lesson plan will be about learning how to function in this new Aquarian energy. So, you know, that's where we're going. And with the Libra moon coming through this weekend, it's tipping the scales, okay? From how things have been to how things will be. The past is handing the baton to the future after Sunday, and we are entering a new phase of radical change. It's like the kickoff party out there, guys. This is the end of a road that we've been walking for a while. Things are about to change in just some very, I think, like all-encompassing type of ways coming up here. So that's my report, you guys. That's what I have to say about all the astrology. I want to talk about the symbolism just for a quick second, and then we'll grab a synchronicity card. We've got lots of symbolism that I feel like is relevant today, so I'm going to read you several of the symbolism, the symbols associated with the degree placement of planets on Sunday. I'm choosing Sunday because, as I said, this is the day when we have these alignments happening exactly. We have Venus and Saturn in the exact conjunction and the exact sextile to Mercury. The moon will have made the conjunction to the south node in Virgo as we are heading into the energy of Sunday as well. So wanted to look at the degree placements of Sunday. And this is also the day when the sun is at the last degree of the sign of Capricorn before the sun enters Aquarius. So, and there's a lot of symbolism, very powerful. And again, it's like this kind of just this more volatile, intense energy that is being described in these symbols. The sun is at 30 degrees of Capricorn. I already told you guys this one, a secret meeting of men responsible for world affairs. The earth, always in the opposition to the sun, is at 30 degrees of Cancer, a daughter of the American Revolution. We have Mars at 25 degrees of Cancer, a leader of men wrapped in an invisible cloak of power. In a almost exact sextile to Uranus, who is preparing to station direct. That's going to be probably some pretty big upheavals and change coming up here. That happens on January 30th. He's going to be at this degree when he stations. That 24 degrees of Taurus, an Indian warrior riding fiercely, human scalps hanging from his belt. We have Pluto at 2 degrees of Aquarius, an unexpected thunderstorm. We have Venus. This Venus-Saturn conjunction, though, is happening at an Easter promenade. So our ability, again, to like organize and to plan and to focus and to think is geared towards new beginnings, rebirth, the future, maybe like some miracles that are playing themselves out there. Jupiter right now is at 12 degrees of Gemini. A slave girl demands her rights of her mistress. You know, like rebellion, revolution, not settling for less anymore, not being willing to like suffer conditions that are not that don't recognize and are not reciprocal to the value and the energy that we're putting in. Like we're just not going to be doing it anymore. Like people are not going to be bending the knee to like faulty authority figures anymore. Like if you want respect going forward, like you need to earn the respect. Like it needs to be based on merit. Like you need to be in that position because you're genuinely the best at that position, not because you like passed this, that, or the other test and like in theory you know what you're doing. This is like, you know, like the most practiced, like whoever is the most prepared and the like genuinely best suited to be in any position, like that is where the success is going to go. Gaining power through like social prestige and like network connections, or power sort of being like handed down based on like lineage and stuff like that, like it's just not going to fly. Like again, like faulty authority figures, like people who are in a position of power or are in a position of authority just because like they say they are, or because they've like risen up some type of corporate model that like put them in that position. If you haven't thoroughly earned the respect, you're just not going to have it anymore going forward. And that will be another sort of adjustment that we are all kind of making as a world society, because this is not just going to be, you know, like impacting like here or there. Like this is gonna be the growing trend that hits on a global level. Like nobody is escaping this. It is a centralized power model that is becoming a decentralized power model. Power is going from the hands of the few to the hands of the many, and like the cream is rising to the top here, and it can't be like held down any longer because it like doesn't fit a certain mold or something like that, or it hasn't followed a certain set of like rules to like come to gain its like knowledge or awareness or whatever. Okay, so that was just kind of a little rant, but that is the direction that things are going. And as I said, if you're feeling, you know, like the pressure from some type of like authority figure, if you're dealing with something along these lines, it's honestly a sign of the times. There is a need to be released from anything that is overly oppressive to our personal trajectory of spiritual growth right now, okay? So you may find that going on. You may find that to be the nature of your experience out there as we move through our lovely weekend here. Two final symbols, the symbol of the placement of the North Node right now at 30 degrees of the sign of Pisces. A majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up begins to look like it. It is the longest of all of the Sabian symbols in the 300 degrees of the zodiac, and it's all about spiritual ideals and pursuits of greatness, okay? And again, that is the defining tone of this next year and a half. Where's the South Node? 30 degrees of the sign of Virgo. Listen to this, you guys. Having an urgent task to complete, a man doesn't look to any distractions. That is the energy of this weekend in a nutshell. I do think that people are going to be focused on what they need to do to like secure their path moving forward in these, you know, maybe turbulent or insecure times, or just like making a plan, figuring things out, figuring out a next step. I don't know, you guys, but that's what it looks like. That's what I think's going on. That's what I have to say about the astrology. The symbols are kind of putting an exclamation point on the end of it. So rest if you can this weekend, you guys, because it's probably going to be quite an interesting week coming at us again next week. We're going to get a synchronicity card now. Oh, and I want to tell you guys, I know I've been getting a lot of comments about these synchronicity cards. I've been, you know, I've been kind of hesitant to talk about it just because it's very emotional to me, and I just haven't really known how to express it in a way that I feel like gives it the, you know, respect that it deserves. And I just really haven't known how to talk about it because it's had a very huge impact on me. I prefer to keep things light on this channel. But these synchronicity cards, they were actually created by a woman named Jana Shulman. She was one of the very first supporters of my channel, and when she found my channel, she, out of nowhere, sent me these synchronicity cards. And it was extremely meaningful to me because when I started my channel, I literally had 0 subscribers. Like, I didn't have any support. Like, I am not someone that comes from any type of network of people that were supportive of my process of starting this channel. And so when Jana found my channel in the very beginning and she watched every video and she commented on every video, like, it was so meaningful to me. And then she sent me these cards that she had created, and from the time that I received them, I used them in all of my videos. And she just, like, you guys know I have this Facebook group that I post my images in, and she came to the Facebook group and she like took it in upon herself to post the synchronicity cards in there that I had pulled, that had come out in my readings each day. And she was just like this, like, profound, I guess, like, just like light that just like manifested itself into my life and showed up to like help me get my channel started. And I didn't ask for any of it. Like, she just helped me out just because she wanted to. And that was so meaningful to me. And honestly, I feel kind of bad because I never really got an opportunity to even express to her what that truly meant for me and to me. But anyways, long story short, as of this past September, Jana actually ended up passing away. She was quite ill for a significant period of time before that. I am not close to her family, obviously. Like, I've never met her personally in my life. She just came and played this like fairy godmother role on my channel when I was getting my channel started, and just like helped me out. And I didn't have any idea of like how, you know, I guess like dire her illness and situation were. But she ended up passing away this past September, and I found out. And before she fell ill, we had talked, or she had talked about wanting to get the cards printed and make them into an actual deck. She had all of the files on her computer, but I guess it just like never obviously ended up happening. And so I only have one deck, you guys, of these Synchronicity cards that she created. They're not for sale right now. There's only one copy and I have it. I am going to, when my life changes and opens up for me a little bit more and I have a little bit more of my time at my own disposal, I am going to get this deck printed and I'm going to make it available for sale for you guys to, you know, obviously it's a very useful tool that I want you guys to have access to, but also to honor Jana Schellman's legacy and the special woman that she was. So anyways, you guys, that is the story of the Synchronicity cards. That's also why I haven't said anything about it for so long and I haven't told you guys about the deck, because I knew for me to talk about it, it was going to be emotional and I was going to have to and I was just not going to be able to do it without being really emotional. And that's just like honestly not my jam. That's not what I'm here to do. So, but that's the authentic truth of the matter and that's the situation. So I will let you know when these cards are available. So anyways, that's that. If you weren't interested in that, sorry about that whole emotional spiel. I never, as I said, want to be someone out here being emotional on YouTube, but it is what it is. Anyways, let's get a Synchronicity card now, you guys, and ask God, Spirit, Universe for one piece of final guidance or advice, what we should keep in mind, what do we need to know? You are protected. So there it is, you guys. Have no fear, despite how crazy everything may be out there. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. Psalms 91:11. Know your guardian angel is with you always, protecting you from harm. Be assured he keeps you safe. When fear overwhelms you, read the 91st Psalm in its entirety and rest in the assurance you are protected. So that's it, you guys. No fear out there. Things might be wild. Remember, we are in times of high strangeness right now. Very transitional point in time, but you are protected. Things are happening in divine alignment. We have a North Node Neptune and Pisces conjunction going on right now, and this could be, honestly, as I said, you know, it's a phase of spiritual growth coming in right now, but there really could be a palpable divine presence that is with us during this point in time as well. So your guardian angels with you, you guys. You are protected. That's what I have to say today. Message from the stars, Synchronicity message as well. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would enjoy this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments. Again, I'm so grateful for your presence on my channel, what you guys have to say. I really value and appreciate that. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group linked in my description box below where you guys know I post these these images of these boards. So that's where you will find that. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. As I said, we are getting we're walking right back into the fire, okay, again on Monday, and I will be here to talk all about it. So you don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and until then, bye.